Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the corporate world. Today we are diving into the financial report of Privacy and Value Inc., and it's not one of glamour and fame, I can promise you that. But before we begin, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where we discuss these topics even further. Privacy and Value Inc., a company developing employee monitoring software, filed its Form 10Q with the SEC. In short form, it shows a company with very little cash, ongoing losses, and a tough road ahead. We will see how the numbers play out by scrolling down to the report. This document is a quarterly report, specifically a Form 10Q, filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC. It's like a checkup for the company, giving investors an update on how things are going. This particular report is for the quarter that ended in October of 2024. This section confirms that this report covers the 3 months ending October 31, 2024. It is a snapshot in time, showing the company's performance during that single quarter. This tells us how many shares of the company are out there in the world currently and is being traded, which is a bit more, 200 million shares. This number is important for calculating things like earnings per share, or how much profit each share represents. Now let's head straight into the financial statements and look at the balance sheet. The balance sheet is essentially a list of what a company owns, which is the assets, and what it owes, which is the liabilities, plus the owner's stake or equity. It's presented for October 31, 2024 and July 31, 2024. And July 31, 2024 and July 31, 2024 and July 31, Orfeo 1, 2024 and July 31, 2024. And July 31, 2024 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 and July 31, 2024, giving us a chance to compare and see what changed over those 3 months. Looking at the most recent balance sheet, the company's total current assets are only $10,000. Current assets are things like cash and anything else they can quickly turn into cash within a year. This is an extremely low amount. It means they do not have the necessary means to conduct business on a short time frame. Fixed assets are things like equipment and software the business owns. For privacy and value, these assets total 152,720 assets. The good here is these assets are much higher than their current assets. However, a big caveat is that the value of fixed assets are difficult to convert to cash, which can pose another big problem. Adding up the things the company owns that we just covered, cash and other liquid stuff, plus fixed assets such as software, we get just below $163,000 in total assets. Now let's look at what the company owes to other people. At the end of October, their total current liabilities, which are debts due within the year, stand at over $420,000. This amount is quite big compared to the cash they have on hand. The number here is the same as above, which means all the company's liabilities are due within the year. Stockholders' equity is what is left for the owners of the company after all the debts are paid, and it is a negative number. Specifically, it is negative 258.10 and shows that the company's liabilities outweigh its assets. This statement shows how profitable the company was over a period of time. For the 3 months ended in October of 2024, the company lost $750. While it is not a huge number, the net loss is still not ideal, as the purpose of running a company is to make a profit. It is also down compared to the same period last year, where they lost $1,116. Let's check out the cash flow statement, which shows the movement of cash both in and out of the company during a specific period. Here's a potentially bright spot. For the 3 months we're looking at Privacy and Value's operating activities, which are the things they do to make money, actually brought in $6,000. In other words, their core business operations generated a positive cash flow, which is something good on the surface. This part of the filing includes detailed explanations regarding the numbers we just discussed. So let's find out what needs explaining. This section explains what the company does for a living, which is focusing on the development of employee monitoring software. This is a crucial section. It addresses what's called the going concern assumption. This is when accountants evaluate whether a company is likely to stay in business for the next 12 months. Here, the report states that the company has an accumulated deficit. Translation: they owe more money than they have, which raises substantial doubt about the company's ability to continue as a going concern for a period of no less than 12 months from the date of this report. This is a fancy way of saying there's a real risk they could go out of business within a year unless they find a way to make money or get additional funding. Companies have a lot of flexibility in how they record their numbers. This section describes the rules and methods that Privacy and Value uses to put this report together. The report states the company considers all investments with a maturity of less than 3 months to be cash equivalents. This notes that the company follows accounting standards regarding uncertain tax positions. Basically, they will only record a tax benefit if they are confident they'll actually get it. This section explains how the company calculates how much money it makes or loses per share that is out in the market. For the end of October of 2024, there were no instruments out that would affect the loss per share. This section mentions that the report prepares that they need to make estimates about some things, and the actual numbers could be different. It also states the business is assumed to be in business forever, which we know from the above is uncertain. This describes the details of the company's stock. How many shares are authorized, how many they've issued, etc. This section notes that during the quarter, the company issued roughly 200 million shares of common stock for $20,1112, a low price for so many shares. Subsequent events are things that happened after the end of the quarter. The report states there are none in this case. Now, to the business side of the report, this part is where the company's management gets to explain the numbers and discuss what's happening with the business and future plans. Here, the management restates what the business does. It develops employee monitoring software and talks about its intended features related to work efficiency and privacy. It mentions an agreement with Cyber Apps World Inc. for the purchase of a 50% interest in the software. However, this agreement has since been terminated, giving Privacy Value Inc. full ownership. Management acknowledged losses for the prior 3 months. Here's the discussion about cash, debts, and the money the company has to work with. As we mentioned before, the current assets and liabilities are not ideal. This section explains the ins and outs of cash over the prior period. The main cash source comes from accounts payable and accrued liabilities. Translation: because they aren't paying their bills right away. Management acknowledges that they have financed through the sale of common stock shares. Off-balance sheet arrangements would be hidden debts or risks. In this case, the company states that there are none. In this section, management acknowledges that there is substantial doubt about their company's future. As a small company, the report is not required to disclose any quantitative and qualitative information about risks. Internal controls are the processes a company uses to make sure its financial reports are accurate. The company says that their controls were not effective as of the end of October. Management admits that the internal controls are not working. The company states that there are no lawsuits against the business. Finally, the exhibits are just the legal documents from management swearing this information in the report is correct. Okay, time to wrap up this 10Q filing from Privacy and Value. From looking at the numbers they show, the company does not appear to be in a very strong position, as their debts are more than all of their assets. The biggest risk for Privacy and Value is the going concern issue. They need to find a way to generate revenue or secure financing soon, or they might not be around for much longer. One of the best options is management cutting costs. On a positive note, the software business is in good space and might attract future investors. Alright, that's our breakdown of Privacy and Value's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching, see you next time.